Hey, it's Ed. Welcome to No Question About That. And you're probably wondering, this looks a bit different. What's going on here? Well, it's not a football post today. It's just a little bit of news about the channel that I wanted to talk to you about because I came to some conclusions. I'm going to explain what I've been thinking about. So I think when I was thinking about the effort and the reward, I guess, if that's the right word, of doing a YouTube channel, I looked into the data. I noticed I'd posted 339 videos over just a little bit more than 2 years. It was an experiment to see if the podcast that's been going since 2009 now, 960 episodes strong, would work on YouTube as well. And we tried a few different formats. We tried the long form conversations, we tried the shorts, we tried 5-minute segments, we tried the 10 to 15-minute dailies that you might remember a few months ago. And honestly, none of them have really worked. And the reason why is you instinctively know yourself, because if you're here, you spend a lot of time on YouTube, probably, is that podcast audio and YouTube native formats are now completely different. They very much diverged. Our podcast is doing well. There are tens, in fact, hundreds of thousands of you listening to our podcast every month on audio. And, I really do thank you for doing that and coming along the journey with me for the last 17 years. But on YouTube, that is not true. You'll notice we have about 3,500 subs, and it's really only 1,000 people who ever watch the videos. And that's because you can't create an audience from long form. You have to do something native to YouTube, and that's either shorter form videos or live podcasts, and or your favorite football Manchester United YouTubers kind of do that. And I had to ask myself a question: do I want to do that? And in fact, do I want to put the effort into producing the videos that I do every week? And there's a process. I have to color grade and do the audio and remove the fillers and remove the big gaps and tighten up the multicams and all of that kind of stuff. And it takes hours, honestly, and not enough of you are watching to kind of justify it. And I was getting a little bit mad, and it's not something I was enjoying. So I do enjoy doing the long form conversations, and I've got a really, I think, wonderful team of different characters with different opinions and different personalities. They're part of the NQAT family now. I really thank them as well for being part of this. We're going to continue doing our audio. So twice a week for the main show. Right now, it's a kind of discussion in midweek and a post-match review at the weekends. And when we're back in the Champions League next year, be a bit more match stuff. We do the finance pod and we do the tactics pod, and that's all going to continue. But on YouTube, I'm going to stop uploading the long form videos because honestly, it's just not worth the time. And I'm sorry if that's disappointing. You do really like it, but you'll be able to find our discussion on every podcast app, everywhere. From now until the end of time, I'm not going anywhere. But YouTube needs something different. It needs me to do 10-minute segments that are nicely produced and have a tight viewpoint, or maybe even live shows, or maybe in both. And I've been thinking about it. And in fact, you'll notice that this video looks a bit different. What's going on here? Well, I brought one of my studio cams up to do this. I have a full studio downstairs with multicam setup and lights and all of that kind of stuff. And part of me was thinking I could use that for doing football YouTube content. But at heart, I'm actually a podcast producer now, not a YouTuber, and there is a bit of a difference. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break and think about whether that's something I actually want to do. And maybe you tell me whether that's something you'd like to hear from me. Anyway, that's just a bit of news. So what you're going to see from now on is no long form uploads. You will see shorts. I'm going to take clips because we still record the video and post it on YouTube Shorts and around all the socials. And if you want to continue listening to the full podcast, I really encourage you to go and subscribe on whatever podcast app you like, whether it's Spotify or Apple or any of the many others. And I appreciate that if you do. Okay, so very short video, just a little bit of news from me. I'm going to come back with something in a bit once I've had a thought properly about what I'd like to do with our YouTube channel. Drop me a comment. Tell me what you want. Because if you drop me loads of comments and say, Head, we'd like this from you, I'm certainly going to consider doing it. In the meantime, thanks very much over the last couple of years for watching the videos and engaging with them and the comments, some of which were nice, many of which weren't. But, hey, got a thick skin. You put content out there, you got to say it, haven't you? Sorry if I abused you in the comments back. Sometimes I get a little bit tetchy with it. But I do love and appreciate all of you. Hope you'll follow me to the audio apps, but we'll see you on here shortly with an update. Bye now.